Speaking about excitement, whenever I bring up, to be honest with you, Depeche Mode in the office, around town, people just go nuts still to this day. And I interview everyone, talk to everybody there is, and people there's not much excitement about anybody. What's that like for you at this point?
Well, it's still kind of, to be honest, it's still very surprising to us. I mean, it's nice. We like it, of course. We played on a TV show last night. The other night we played on Kimmel, and there's all these fans show up. What does surprise me actually is that we still seem to be generating young fans as well. You know, people that are just kind of getting into music. I mean, someone came up to me the other day and said, you know, I saw my first concert with you guys like at the Dodgers Stadium, like when he was in 8th grade, which is how old's 8th grade? It's like 10, 11? Yeah, something like that. That's pretty young. Sure. I mean, this guy was now like much older. Right, you know, he was just a little bit younger than me, and it was his first concert, and he'd been to since then like 24 concerts or whatever. Sure. So I think a lot of people kind of have grown up with us as well. Certainly when we first started playing in California, it was kind of, this was way before the internet, you know, and things were sort of a bit more secret, and it was all word of mouth. So, you know, when we would do things, it was kind of surprising to us even then how many thousands of people would show up to these things that we would do. So it was a bit of a mystery, and it was
the power of radio back then too. Even local radio was
I think so. I mean, K-Rock, you know, back then was a small station, and they started playing our music very, very early on. Some of our first singles, and you know, they still play our stuff today. So it's nice to be still doing things with them after all these years as well.
But the new fans now, none of that would matter, I think, if the new music wasn't so vital. And I think people are catching on to that. New fans are attracted to that. If you were just doing the oldies, I don't think it would matter.
No, I mean, that's one thing that's has been very important to us over the years. Is we go from record to record, CD to CD, whatever you want to call it these days. It's about the record that we're making. It's not, you know, if we didn't really have that, we wouldn't still be doing it. If we didn't feel like we were challenging ourselves, or we were doing something that was still pushing the boundaries or pushing what Depeche Mode is, creatively, still trying to kind of make a modern day blues record, you know, that speaks to people, and you know, it speaks to us, of course, and you know, when we're making it. And you know, Martin's very, you know, very clear on that. He wants to make modern music, and you know, the influences come from the blues, obviously, but and I try and add that element with my voice. I'm kind of like the free will to it, if you like. But you know, predominantly the records are made in a very modern way with whatever technology is available to us at the time, and we try and mix musically a feel from you know, Martin playing guitar or something like that, or me singing, and then we, you know, never do we use, very rarely we use straight guitar on a record. It's always transposed through all the wall of synthesizers and old modular synthesizers, amps that we have set up all over the place, and we're always processing sound. So that's what's interesting to us still.
Yeah. Does that come easy at this point in your career for you guys to get in the room? Does everything you're talking about?
I don't do a lot of that, so like it's like I just kind of hang out bored in the studio while they're fiddling around with all this stuff, and you know, they're like scientists, and but you know, I'm in awe of it all at the same time. But to be honest, I'm waiting to be able to do what I do and kind of bring some humanity, if you like, to the music that they're making at any particular time. But I think it's the marriage of those two things that come together that make our music interesting, and I think that's what sort of speaks to people still that are still into our music.
But you are a part of the process, I know, writing more than ever. Even early on. And if you can just, is it that much more satisfying, and to have that kind of ownership of the songs and the stuff that you are singing?
I mean, look, it was a tall order to, you know, I'm not going to try and jump in the shoes of Martin, who's been writing songs, obviously, for the band for more than 30 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's new to me, really. I've been writing for the band now for 10 years, which is a long time. But
Sure.
and then doing my own solo records as well. And I was lucky enough last year as well to do a great collaboration with Soul Savers, which was fantastic for me. It's, I think, some of the best writing that I've collaborated with Rich Machin and Ian Glover from Soul Savers. But it is new, and at first it was a little difficult to nudge my way in there. I think there were a lot of eyebrows were raised, but now it's we just share that. And Martin shows up as much for my songs as I do for his in the studio. He contributes, and he'll sit down at the piano and sort of maybe come up with a different chord structure or some changes from that he feels might better the song, and I'm very open to that. So it's nice to do that, and we collaborated as well on one piece on this record as well, a track called Long Time Lie, which is on the deluxe version. That was like a true sort of collaboration, really, for the first time, where Martin came up with the music side of things, and I had to go away and come up with some vocal melodies and some words, and then put it all together. And it's one of my favourite tracks, actually, on the record.
Sure. And you talk about the blues, and yet on this record there's lots of talk of peace and of love and sexy stuff on this record as well. Is this that speak to a happy time in the band?
That's what we all kind of are striving for.
Yeah.
But it also can lead to a lot of misery. But ultimately it's it's a way to get those feelings out. I mean, listening to the blues is something that enables me to identify with the sentiment in and modern blues what I call modern blues singers as well. People like Mark Lanigan and Nick Cave, who I feel their voices, they speak to me. They tell me stories and things that I feel that lift me as well, lift my spirit. I mean, other people may find the voices, those kind of voices don't do that for them, but for me it does. And when I'm writing them, it's where I write from. I write from a place that enables me to get that stuff out, really. It doesn't really make sense to me a lot of the time when I'm actually writing, but and words kind of make, the music kind of dictates the words. So somehow what happens to me, I hear something and words start to form. And then once I've got a sketch, then I have to go back and edit. It's kind of, it doesn't make any sense, but it sort of does in a feelings sort of way. So then I have to go back and kind of look at it and then start to make sense of something. And it's not till later on, so we start performing songs, I start to go, I see what I was getting at with that. Right. But I can see what the song was about. And, quite often when you're doing it and you're in the process, it's not clear. And I really like that. It's like a mystery. It's a surprise, songwriting. Sure. It's a special kind of thing that comes from somewhere.
Yeah, but it's interesting when it's taken to the next level, though, when you do the performance.
Yeah, and that comes with help, it gets taken to the next level by the band, especially when I'm working with Depeche. It's like everybody that's involved in that. This time we were produced by Ben Hillier again, who's produced the last couple of records, and we also had a great musician involved on the record and programmer Chris Berg, who had previously worked with Swedish electronic acts The Knife and Fever Ray. Yeah. And he brought a new energy as well to the studio work.
Are you surprised where your vocals go sometimes? Because your inflections are always so unique, and you had so much soul and life to these songs. After that stage, and you hear yourself back, or you're in the studio, is that all natural, inherent, or is that work to? It's
kind of hard to hear yourself afterwards. I mean, for me, what I'm trying to do is I stand up there, and quite often, what I usually do is I sing live in the studio, in the control room. We'll crank up the speakers, and I sing live with the track. That's usually when you get a best performance out of me, it seems. And And I like to go away and do that on my own. I do that with my collaborator on these songs, Kurt Unela. I have a little studio in New York, and Mark has a little studio in his place in California, in Santa Barbara. And quite often when the guys were working on music, I would take the song up to those places and just work on my voice and the vocals. But I still like to really just sing songs through, get a feel for it, and then perform it. I know when I've got it. You know, I know when it feels right. To me, it doesn't necessarily feel right to other people when you're working with people in a studio. You know, the rest of the band, they might not hear it like I hear it. Yeah. You know, I might over-sing something to them. You know, a song like Heaven, for instance, on this record, you know, when I first heard that song, I really just wanted to sing it. And, you know, when we first started recording this record in Santa Barbara, Ben Healy, the producer, he'll start working on the track and get a framework going, maybe spend a day doing that. And when it's ready, he wants me to sing so that then they can start building the music around whatever performance I do. So I got up and sang it, and everybody seemed really pleased. And, you know, I got a compliment from Martin, which is always nice. It's one of his songs, and beautiful song. And he said, you've obviously been working on this, you know. And I had been. I'd spent some time in New York working on the songs that he had given me too, and to kind of work with, so that when I showed up in the studio to start recording, I was kind of ready. I'd already been performing the songs, if you like, in my own studio. So I felt very confident about them. Not so much about my own, actually, to be honest. I kind of put them to the wayside, because there was a few songs that Martin had written that I really wanted to get my teeth into, like Heaven and Angel.
Sure.
And I think we ended up with a pretty good sounding record.
Yeah. Now this is just a couple days before you guys take this on the road for a very long time.
Yeah.
You've been through this before. What's the pre-tour mode like? How do you have to psych yourself up, get physically ready?
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Well, you know, these days it's a little different. You know, I work pretty hard, you know, getting myself in shape, and a lot of running, a lot of work in the gym. I like doing that. It makes me feel good. And I build my stamina to a certain point. I mean, you know, we're performing sort of 2 hours plus on stage, so, and I kind of get around on stage, and you know, I'm not as young as I used to be. I'm not old, but I'm not as young as I used to be. So, you know, you feel it more. So I really have to kind of push myself. But I like that. I like the way it feels. I like to be on top of my game, and it helps me to sing well as well and perform. And, you know, you can't be walking on a stage out in front of 40, 50,000 people and half-ass it. You know, it's you know, it's a big gig, and you've got to be big on stage. And
there's a reason you guys are still.
It's a lot of fun. I love it on stage. I love those 2 hours on stage. I really do. I mostly enjoy it. I don't enjoy a lot of the travelling, and I don't enjoy being away from my family.
Sure.
And my kids so much. But that's part of it. That's, you know, they come visit, but you know, I spend a lot of time away from home.
Yeah, but you've been through a lot personally and medically, and the band has. It was a rough number of years.
Yeah.
I think you've come out the other side of that a while.
The last tour was kind of a bit of an uphill battle.
Yeah.
You know, I'd got sick, and
sure.
And right at the beginning of the tour, I'd been diagnosed with cancer, which you know, touch wood, everything is great,
Yeah.
and it's been 4 years now, and I'm very blessed. And I feel good from that. I did not feel good at the start of the last tour, and I didn't know why, and I found out, you know.
Yeah.
And so during that tour, it was always in the back of my mind, I think, and it feels great right now to be able to sort of put that aside, and I feel healthy, and
good.
my voice is in good shape, and you know, I feel ready to go.
Yeah, I don't think you've ever looked or sounded better, just as a fan, just what we noticed. Is there a feeling of triumph as a band, you having come through that, and the band putting out what's arguably your best record? It must be a great feeling going forward.
Well, it's nice of you to say. Thanks very much. Look, after all these years, it's our 13th studio album. It's quite an achievement. I don't think when we began, we ever imagined that after 30 odd years, we'd still be able to sit here with you and you'd be interested in something that we were doing, and also our fans still, even more so, coming to shows. I mean, we're just about to step out on a European tour. I think it's about 30 shows to start off with, mostly outdoors, and we've already sold over 1 million tickets for that. They've all pretty much sold out, and the North American tour has gone on sale, and that's pretty much doing the same thing. So after all these years, it's like there's something beyond us that I feel is important, and I take great pride in sort of stepping out on stage and being able to give what I feel we've been so sort of freely given.
We know we get all the great new music. Are there some surprises we can look forward to? Our fans, you can let anybody know on some older songs you're digging up or rare things you'll be doing?
There's a few tracks, yeah. I mean, we sort of dug deep at first. We go through every record and we kind of make a list of all these songs, and we end up with 50 or so songs that we've got to cut down to maybe 22, 3, 4 songs for the set, and it's quite difficult. And on this one, they kind of left that up to me at the end to try and put it together. So, but we all collaborate on that at first, and I think there's a good mixture. And we try to choose songs that are going to work with this current record, with Delta Machine, and songs from that record. So there's a lot of stuff from Songs of Fame Devotion and Violator and Music for the Masses, and stuff that we feel that kind of had a bluesy influence to it, and it works. It's a great set. We've been rehearsing for a while, and I feel like the flow of it is really good. Now it's time to really see if it's going to work on the stage. I got a feeling it's going to be good.
I know there's been talk of shows through next year at this point.
Oh yeah, we're adding all the time, and we just added another European tour which kicks off, after the North American tour and goes through till I think February or something of next year, and now there's some talk of doing some bigger shows in America and going back to Europe for some festivals following summer. Yeah. Just talk at the moment, but
Sure.
We'll see. One day at a time, they say.
Yeah. What's it like when you're here in town? I know you spent a lot of time and lived in LA and all that kind of stuff. When you're here, though, and you're surrounded by colleagues and fellow musicians and stuff like that, is there a different feeling when you're here in town working?
We're in the hotel at the moment, and it's kind of weird, being down in the gym every day, because there's different members of different bands that are down there working out, getting themselves ready. I mean, I chat every day with Paul McCartney. It's kind of weird. Sure. But at the same time, he's just such a nice guy, and we talk about music and family and doing this thing, and it's really inspiring. The Stones are here, hanging around. Our drummer Christian got to hang out with Charlie Watts the other day when I had a cup of coffee with him, and they talked drums, and it's kind of amazing. To me, to be sort of, especially with the Stones as well, their music has meant a lot to me over the years, and I still play, there's a few Stones albums that come with me everywhere I go, and they're still doing it. Yeah, they're a little bit older than us. A little bit, yeah. Mick's a little bit older, and he's still running around there like a 25-year-old.
Inspiring,
which is very inspiring to me. So yeah, still got some legs, still doing it.
Yeah. And lastly, just how familial still is the band? How close are you guys? When you're up in Santa Barbara, are you guys going out for dinner together? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, look, to be honest, this record has been, I think, one of the easiest to make in that, we've got on very well, and we have some laughs, and we go out together, and, it's kind of been a family for all these years. We've had our ups and downs, and we have our falling outs, and, we have our sort of, moody moments. But when we get on stage, none of that stuff really is important. What's important is to deliver the songs in the best way possible, to give 100% to all these people that are buying our tickets and still coming to our concerts. That's what's always in the forefront of my mind, and I want to do that to the best of my ability.
Very good.
Yeah.
I think you're doing it.
Yeah, man.
Always
nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
Cheers.
Good
Thanks.
stuff. Yeah.